Hi, my name is Bryce Frohlich, Community Resilience Specialist for the Office of Sustainability and Innovations, and today I'm at Peace Neighborhood Center, one of our upcoming community resilience hubs. So for those who are not familiar with the resilience hubs, they are trusted community spaces that perform critical wraparound services year-round. Some of those services could include after-school care, mental health services, food provisioning, and much more. And today we'll learn about those programs and services from Peace Neighborhood staff, in addition to the other 6 core pillars of resilience hubs. So resilience hubs are defined by 6 core components: programs and services, meaning the services that are offered at each individual brick and mortar location; information and connectivity, how are they connecting the people that they serve to resources; built and natural spaces, the brick and mortar building that people are coming to receive programs and services and interact with each other; power systems and backup, how is the building powered and how are they able to maintain service in the event of disruptions; operations and maintenance, making sure that programs, services, staff are all running smoothly; and then accessibility and transportation, people can access the building and they can get to where they need to go.
Hi, I'm Grace Franke, Communications Coordinator at the City of Ann Arbor's Office of Sustainability and Innovations, and welcome to Greenlight, where we dig into sustainability in Ann Arbor with the residents who are envisioning, creating, and establishing a sustainable and equitable future for our community. Supporting these goals and presenting this series is A20, the City of Ann Arbor's plan, vision, framework, and associated actions for a just and equitable transition to carbon neutrality community-wide by the year 2030. Today, we're shining the green light on Bonnie Billups, Executive Director of Peace Neighborhood Center, and Bryce Frohlich, Community Resilience Specialist at the City of Ann Arbor Office of Sustainability and Innovations, to learn more about Peace Neighborhood Center's journey to becoming a resilience hub and sustainability work. Thank you both for joining.
Glad to be here, Grace. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing well, doing well.
Normally, I ask for you to give the elevator pitch of who you are and what you do. We'll start with you.
Sure. I'm Bonnie Billups Jr. I'm the Executive Director of Peace Neighborhood Center, which is a nonprofit that's been in Ann Arbor since 1971.
Wow.
Serving people throughout the community with all kind of needs. We like to think that basically we're able to meet whatever the community needs at that point in time. So through all of our programs and services, yeah.
That's fantastic. Bryce?
And hi, I'm Bryce Frohlich, the Community Resilience Specialist for the Office of Sustainability and Innovations. I work on a myriad of different resilience projects, including working with some of our resilience hub servicers, hosting some of our community engagement programming, and multiple other programs. But I'm really happy to be here today because talking about resilience hubs is one of my favorite things to do in terms of the line of work.
Yeah, thank you. For those who are unfamiliar with Peace Neighborhood Center's history, could you tell us how and why Peace started?
Sure. Peace was started in 1971 by a group of residents who lived on the west side of Ann Arbor. The property that we now own was once vacant, and it was once Peace Lutheran Church quite a while ago, back in the 60s. And as the city of Ann Arbor had built public housing on the west side of Ann Arbor and in other spots, there was a need to be able to have people come together and talk about commonalities. And mothers who were in the neighborhood would walk their kids to school, and then mothers started talking with each other. People who lived in public housing who were primarily African American, but not all, and people who lived in the neighborhood that had been established who were white started talking with each other and figuring that, hey, we got a lot of stuff in common. And out of that came this thing called Kitchen Cabinet, where mothers would meet and just have tea and coffee and donuts and talk about things. And out of that became a need to start a community center. And so our property was once Peace Lutheran Church. People in the community went to the 2 churches that were responsible for the property and said, hey, can we start a community center? And the thing was, yeah, keep the word peace in it if you can. And we became Peace Neighborhood Center in 1971. And we've been here on the west side ever since and serving people throughout this community with all kind of programs and services.
That is such a cool story.
Yeah.
That's fantastic.
Grassroots.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
What services does Peace Neighborhood Center provide to the community, and who do you serve?
Yeah, we're probably most known for our youth programs and youth services. We run a big collective of youth programs, from after-school programs for elementary kids, middle school programs, high school and career prep programs for kids to go off to college. summer day camps in the summer. So we work with over 300 kids a year in all of these different programs and services. But as Peace has unfolded and evolved, when we started doing youth programs, we also started saying, well, hey, what should we do for families and for parents? And so we have a bunch of programs that we do for parents and families, including our family enrichment program, our wellness center, which has 4 main pillars: mental health, physical health, emotional health, and spiritual health. All of those things, including one of the things that we do is a whole bunch of emergency assistance for people who are in some kind of crisis, being able to provide them some resources, if it's financial or connection to other resources to help them overcome what it might be: eviction, food insecurity, car repairs, any of those kind of things.
And that's a huge part of resilience, is just having those connections and those resources. Even if you don't know what to do, having somebody you can go to find out what to do.
Exactly, and being able to have an organization like Peace, where we have that information and those connections to be able to say, here, this is and to be a bridge, right, to help people who are coming in the middle of tremendous amount of trauma and crisis sometimes. To be able to say, wait a minute, we have a resource for you, and we'll help you connect you to that resource.
Absolutely, that's fantastic. One of the many reasons we're here today is because Peace Neighborhood Center is designated as one of Ann Arbor's next resilience hubs. Why is this work so important to do, Bryce, at a place that is so embedded in the community?
Yeah, I think from Bonnie's answer, it's clear that I got the softball question. Is that Peace Neighborhood Center, for one, is a trusted community location. When people walk in, they not only trust the physical building that they're in, but they trust the people that they see and that they interact with. And what's really important in terms of thinking about how we view resilience hubs in Ann Arbor is, people will ask me, when are the resilience hub active? And the honest answer is they are active every day. So what you'll see in Peace are programs and services, friendly staff, a healthy and safe building here every day. And to think about the ways that Peace has been able to touch individuals' lives, households' lives, and our communities' lives in just ways that, other services and people that, like for example, how our office can do engagement, but you all touch lives in many ways that are deeper than that. And those people come to you as well for a healthy, safe experience.
That's fantastic. That was a great answer. Do you have anything you wanted to add?
No, Bryce answered it completely well.
Well, that's great.
And we're here every day, and that's great. We're here being of assistance to people pretty much every day in all kind of different capacities.
Yeah, and I hope I'm not stealing any future thunder, but when I think about Peace's services, what I really think about, or wrap around it, really takes care of the whole person. It takes care of them emotionally, it takes care of them physically, it takes care of them economically, and it really runs the gamut of how our resilience hubs, and Peace as an example, supports our community in all different myriads of ways.
That is fantastic. And great to know and hear that you're out there and doing that
work.
work.
Right, that wraparound work is so important.
Yeah. What does it mean for the Peace Neighborhood Center to integrate sustainability into your organization through Resilience Hub efforts, both here now and in the future down the line? What does that look like?
Yeah, we want to be here. We want to be here serving people, meeting emergencies, meeting needs, helping through disruptions or whatever. And that means that we need to have a facility that's able to meet those needs, that if there is some kind of community distraction or need, that people can come to this site and get some kind of assistance. And so, it means that the physical property needs to be taken care of and updated, and so that it can be sustainable, so that it can assist.
Yeah, it needs to be resilient in the same way that you're trying to assist the community in resilience.
We last made major improvements in this building probably when we about over 20 years ago, when we think about the infrastructure of HVAC and all those kind of things. So, technology has changed, things have changed, and
Absolutely.
and we want to be sustainable.
Yeah, which leads into my next question. Could you talk about some of the work that has been done recently in the building to kind of meet those sustainability goals?
Yeah, one of the first things we did was change out all of the lighting to be able to be LED driven as opposed to fluorescent lights, which helps to decrease our DTE bill, right?
Yeah.
And so when we think about the whole thing of heating and lighting the building for programs and services, that's a big part of our budget. And if we can reduce some of those costs, it means that we have more funds to be able to put into programs and services to assist people in the community in all kind of capacities.
That's fantastic.
Yeah, I think one thing that I really think about sustainability, like a word that I would use to talk to you about what were the work that we're trying to do at Peace, is also like durability, right? Like we want to give, as the Office of Sustainability Innovations, the longest runway for these services and this trusted community space. This brick and mortar building to be here for you all, for the community, and for everything that it brings.
I like that phrase, the longest runway possible.
Yeah.
Talk about some of the work that you've got upcoming potentially.
Yeah, we're looking at updating all of the HVAC things and our roof, which needs to be done. But definitely the HVAC stuff and the possibility of doing geothermal or heat pumps. And to reduce our carbon footprint is an important thing that we want to do with the community, but also to make sure that we can be cost effective in reducing our energy costs also.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, and I think something that's unique about Peace, in our Resilience Hub network is you all are an entity that owns its own building, has its own operations and maintenance, and anything that we can do to, move in terms of putting those cost savings that you mentioned back into, the pockets of Peace to further programs and services, that's exactly some of the intention behind the deeper work that we're doing here. And our goal as OSI is to give Peace, a Denny's menu of options, right? And then for them to be able to choose
possible.
Exactly, and you can choose and mix and match what's right for the building, because we want this place again to be standing in a way that Peace has existed longer than I've been alive, and I hope it's here after I'm not.
Yeah.
Me too.
Yeah.
But it's we do own the building, so that's a beautiful thing.
That's a big deal.
So the investment in making this building sustainable, more energy efficient, means that we are able to put monies back into assisting people.
Yeah.
And it's not going to a landlord, it's our property. So,
that's great. And kind of ties into my next question. How has the collaboration between the Peace Neighborhood Center and the Office of Sustainability and Innovations impacted your organization and this work?
We've learned a lot, right?
And I'm sure OSI has too.
I mean, so much. Not even just from the tutoring that I do here, which I had to relearn long division, but even beyond that as well.
Yeah. We've been learning a lot about the whole thing of being able to be more energy efficient, but not only just that, but the ability for us to use new technologies to be able to when we did this building 20 years ago, the systems that we put in place were cutting edge 20 years ago.
Right.
But just think of what's happened in 20 years, right? We carry small computers, in our pocket. Look at AI and all the other stuff that we can now do. It's the same kind of thing that can happen in building controls, which we need to update in building systems of HVAC stuff, and the ability for us to have the possibility that we will have charging stations here for people to use, and a solar panels or those kind of things, so we can have a battery system so that when we have power outages, and this area has a lot of power outages,
it does,
that we're able to be sustainable and be able to be a spot that people will be able to come to charge things, to stay warm or stay cool, in the midst of all those kind of disruptions.
Yeah.
And I think something that I've learned personally, working with Bonnie, working with the folks at Peace, is like the integration of just how sustainability can be an add-on to an organization as well. What the last thing we would want to do is any of our efforts here to be, cannibalizing any other efforts or programs and services that Peace provides. Again, going back to that longer runway, that's our goal, is to give a longer runway for these programs and services to take off. And, thinking about deeper integration of sustainability, I mean, Peace has embraced us, talking to youth about sustainability,
Right.
Developing summer programming around sustainable, learning about renewable energies, and then also having kids design their own resilience hubs and resilient community and how they see it in their eyes. And, hopefully those technologies and like those visions that they're implementing and they're learning and seeing become tangible here as well. And that's a connection that, runs their lifespan as well.
Yeah, that was a big part of our summer programs, the fact that our middle school kids spent the whole summer learning about sustainability and building their own ideas of what a resilient community would look like that would be sustainable, and putting projects together to show how that would be. It was great.
Yeah. So in 20 years, those are the folks who are going to be telling us what to do next.
Exactly. Some of them in 5 years.
Yeah,
They're telling us already.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, and that ties into my last question for you, which I think we've already kind of touched on, but the impacts that you hope that this work has for Peace Neighborhood Center and the community at large.
Yeah, we want to be able to meet any kind of disruption or need that happens. So I can always, one of the things that we learned by doing this work and by being involved with the Office of Sustainability is the fact that Peace has been a resilience hub for quite a while. And we can look back at COVID. We changed this building and turned this building into a small school for a year and a half.
Wow.
Almost 2 years. I mean, we just flipped our programs. We were open. We were only closed for like 2 or 3 days.
Wow.
Before we were a part of the whole system of delivering food to communities, and then meeting the needs of kids with supporting the education system.
Wow.
And turning this building into a school. We became a site for COVID vaccinations. We became a site for the distribution of cleaning supplies and other things with washing on my brother's keeper in the sheriff department. So we have been meeting the needs as they come up. For this community for a while. And we just want to be able to continue to do that in a cost-effective way, in a way that's sustainable, in a way that's all those words, right?
Yeah.
That's carbon neutral and all those kind of things. We want to be able to do that and be here 10 years, 20 years, and 50 years, being whatever those needs might be at that point in time.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
Do you have anything you want to add, Bryce?
Yeah, I think it really is just, the pandemic feels, 2020 wasn't that long ago.
Right.
But in terms of thinking about how students were affected, in terms of how kids have received daily services from school, to have a resilience hub, to have Peace step up, to have literal learning stations, to have people there in person to help with virtual instruction. That is just something that when I think of stepping up for the moment, that's exactly what Peace has done. And in terms of hearing about impact, when I talk to people who have gone through Peace, just how they keep coming back to Peace. Peace is in their heart, is in their mind, going forward, even past their time, in the physical center, is something that, when you talk about calculating impact, like how do you calculate that?
Yeah. And that's, in those moments of need, that's irreplaceable, having that. So I want to say thank you not only for joining, but thank you for the work that you do and for the innovative way that you continue to adapt to the community's needs and do that and show up. That is just so cool and so inspirational. And thank you.
Well, thank you. We're happy to be partners with the City of Ann Arbor's Office of Sustainability and doing this work. And so we'll keep doing it.
That's great.
Yeah.
Great news.
Yeah, it's more to come.
Yeah, thank you, Bryce, also for joining.
Yeah, thanks for the invitation, Grace.
Yeah. You can learn more about Peace Neighborhood Center at peaceneighborhoodcenter.org. More about resilience hubs at osi.a2gov.org/resilience, and more about A20 at a20.org. Have a question you want to ask to a sustainability expert in Ann Arbor, or a story you'd like to share? Let us know at sustainability@a2gov.org. This has been Greenlight. Thank you for joining, and we'll see you again soon.